of today's game with Kyle Kerstead.
And welcome into Firestone Stadium here in Akron, Ohio, as they are host of the semifinals for today's State Division II matchup between the Anthony Wayne Generals and the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets. As they get set here, the starting lineups and rosters are being announced. A full house on a beautiful day here in the city of Akron, the Rubber City as they call it, home to Firestone, Goodyear, Bridgestone, and a lot of the giants in the rubber industry of the early 1920s. This field built on June 25th, 1925, donated to the city of Akron by Firestone themselves. It's played host to many popular names, and the first one to ever put foot onto the field out here with the exhibition game was none other than the New York Yankees and a gentleman by the name of Babe Ruth. So the history sits heavy here today as the Yellow Jackets come in to take on Anthony Wayne. And Anthony Wayne will be the home team. And, you know, I got in the box with me today Gary Cooper, and Gary, we're looking at this. And I noticed that the pitcher for Anthony Wayne, Molly Cooper, who's been a phenomenal pitcher for them all season long. Her senior season, they were here 2 years ago in 23. On the other side of the field, you got Scarberry starting for the Yellow Jackets, a sophomore, starting in the finals. And the parallels between the senior now starting for the Generals and her sophomore season being here before, and now this young sophomore for the Yellow Jackets, ought to line up for a pretty good battle in that circle tonight.
I'm really hoping so, and hopefully that's not bad news for Mount Vernon, saying that they're going to lose here and then come back in 2 years.
That is not the jinx I was putting on them, but thank you for taking that and putting it on yourself, Gary. So there you have it. If we don't win, blame Gary. But
That's not even fair.
That's the life, my friend. Today's game, though, is going to be a extreme test of both these teams' resilience. Mount Vernon comes in at 26-2. Anthony Wayne comes in at 25-5. Neither one of these teams have seen each other. Anthony Wayne hails out of Lucas County, which is up by Toledo, which is a very strong hotbed for softball in this state of Ohio. Quite honestly, you cannot go anywhere inside the state of Ohio without finding amazing talent all over the place. And then for the Yellow Jackets, the young core as well as the veterans sprinkled in, how they were able to lead them. But right now we are going to get ready for the national anthem.
And those who have fought to defend the freedoms that we enjoy, we invite you to please rise, if you may, remove your hats, and join us for the playing of our national anthem.
There you have it. As the national anthem is played, the teams get ready. Anthony Wayne is the home team. They will be playing in their blue tops with white bottoms, white and gray trim on both the sleeves. As for the Mount Vernons, they are wearing their all-black uniforms, white numerals with the orange highlight around the numerals. Anthony Wayne again going to be the home team here, so Mount Vernon will come in as the visitor. As a coach, I would always debate whether or not I want that home versus visitor. A lot of the travel softball tournaments, you kind of get that choice in the beginning of the game, and I always like to take the visitor spot because I like to put the numbers on the board first, see if I couldn't put the other team away, kind of come out swinging heavy and hard, see if they can respond to that. Now, the one bad thing about that, and I apologize for the wind tunnel, is that you don't get that last at bat. know, Anthony Wayne always has that opportunity at the bottom of the 7th inning to get that last at bat, to get those last opportunities. So we'll see how that all plays out. Again, Anthony Wayne's the home team here, Mount Vernon, the visitors, and the field, as you look at it, is a turf field. It's a beautiful field, beautiful Firestone logo right in center field. You got 225 dead center. You're looking at 200 down each one of the lines. And it is a beautiful stadium here that they host the state tournament each year with. And it's one of those things where, as a player in this great state of Ohio, and the love of softball that you develop playing this game through the rec leagues, through the school, through travel softball, however your path may take you up to this particular moment, is a place to behold, is a game of softball. It is a wonderful field, a beautiful field, and it should be the proud moment for OHSAA and their tournament.
It's honestly quite the shame, Kyle, that we could not bring video out here today. But I want to mention, if you're listening on air right now, you get home, have to turn your car off, go inside, don't have a radio to listen, you can tune into this game on Facebook and YouTube and watch with our smiling faces here on the stream.
I don't know if you want to see my face, but Gary's definitely will be worth your time. So they're finally getting ready, folks. They have gone through the awards. They've gone through presentations, the announcement of the rosters, as Anthony Wayne gets ready here to step out onto the field. And towing that rubber in the middle of the field for them is going to be none other than Molly Connor, the senior for these Generals. And as I watched her warmed up, she has got excellent control of her pitches. She is a pitcher that loves to find her spots, hit her spots, force the hitters to have to hit off balance, and rely on her defense to take care of business behind her. A defense that throughout the season has done a great job, had a phenomenal fielding season. The one thing, though, you do have to kind of watch as you change environments here. A lot of these schools, dirt fields. You come out here on a turf field, the bounce, the way the ball moves, the way it skips across that turf is completely different than how it plays on dirt or even in the outfield when you're in normal grass versus turf. You don't have the divots, you don't have the holes and the rolls for it to bounce and go off of. And when it does hit this, surface underneath is more concrete, so it's got a hard hit, it's going to skip, stay a little bit lower. So one thing I was watching in the warm-ups is how these infielders change that. This game is played at a fast pace. You're 60 feet from first to home, you're 60 feet from third to home. And so you're more of a condensed spot. You don't have as much time to react as you do in baseball. So the biggest thing that you have to be able to do as an infielder in this game is you have to be on your toes. You got to be ready to move. And they designate third base as the hot spot. In the game of softball, I would say it's hotter than it is in baseball, because sometimes you got to be a little bit crazy to play at third. You got the bunters, you got the slappers, you got to be able to get close and tight. But they can change their pace on you and get there real quick. Anyways, as they have finally started here, the final pitch comes in and the throwdown goes as Mount Vernon comes up to bat, and leading things off for the Yellow Jackets is going to be Riley Myers, senior outfielder, as she steps into the box, left-handed hitter. And comes set will be Cooper in the circle. Connor in the circle. Second base creeps up. They expect a small ball game being played here as she comes set. Pitch is delivered. It's going to be a little bit low and on the outside. So that'll be ball one here to start the game off. As Myers looks down to third base, checking for signals, as Coach Ryan Pence in his 5th season here for the Yellow Jackets. 109-33 record. Myers is set in the box as Connor comes set, pitch delivered, and that is a strike as beautifully delivered off-speed pitch got Myers out in front a little bit and makes the count 1-1. As Myers again checks for the signal from third base. Comes set. Connor ready. Rocks, here's the pitch, and that's going to be a bit high, ball 2. So 2-1 is our count right there. Good call there on that pitch, a rise ball, trying to see if they can't get Myers to go chase after it, and good discipline by the young lady of staying true. It's a very deceptive pitch that looks like it's in the zone until right before the plate when it starts walking up to your shoulders. As they come set now. Pitch is delivered. There's a check swing, and that's going to be a foul ball. And that'll still keep the count at 2-2. Beautiful day here in Akron, Ohio. Nice 78 degrees and sunny, with a slight breeze just blowing out to right center field. Connor comes set in the middle circle, checks the wristband to get the signal. And rocks and delivers, and that is going to be a foul ball. As Myers just got a piece of it and went off the glove of the catcher. She was not able to handle it. As behind the plate is Megan Summer. So again, the count 2-2, no outs, nobody on. Top of the first inning here of the state semifinals in Division III, as Anthony Wayne plays host to the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets. And that is a ball outside low. The winner of this game will go on to play tomorrow at 1:30, as the Painesville Riverside won their game over top of Maslin Perry 2-0. Just prior to this game getting started. So the count's full now, 3-2 on Myers, as pace of play is slowed a little bit. Connor comes set, gathers herself in the circle and gets ready. Here's the pitch on the delivery, and that's going to be another high pitch. That's a ball 4 as Myers walks down to first. So Mount Vernon leadoff hitter did her job. She got on base. As they now look for the 2-3 hitters to get her around. Center fielder stepping in, Carly Kennedy, the right-handed batter, as third base creeps up about halfway down the line, 30 feet away from that batter's box. Connor comes set, rocks back and delivers. There's a pitch, it's low, ball 1. Right now she is struggling to find her location. I may have jinxed her by saying her control was impeccable in warm-up, but right now, so far, not so good, as Pence takes a timeout to have a conversation with his batter, Kennedy. Umpires check that. You are only allowed, I believe, 1 timeout per inning, per team. So it finally comes set. Connor in the circle, ready. Delivery, it's a bunt, and it is popped up back to the screen, foul ball. As that got in tight and high on her quickly, and she was not able to control it. Good attempt there by Carly Kennedy, so that puts the count at 1-1. As Myers is over at first base, Connor paces back and forth in the back of the circle, finally comes set on the rubber. Pence parks a couple last-minute orders down to Kennedy as Molly rocks back and forth, comes set, delivers, and that's a high pitch. It goes behind the catcher. And that is going to be a free base as Myers takes second to get a runner into scoring position. And just a tough play there for Megan Summer. The batter turned to bunt, and the ball just kept rising. And I think the problem was where the batter was and the bat was right in the line of her view. And that ball went off her glove, allowing the runner to advance. So 2-1's the count now as Connor comes set in the circle. There's the pitch. Again, bunt dropped down the left field, the third base line, and that is going to be a foul ball. It's now going to make the count 2-2.
Now, Kyle, you said something interesting there. You said when the runner got to second, that's scoring position?
Yes, sir.
Why is that? I'm used to baseball where usually third base is scoring position.
Scoring position is because of how small this field is, and you will see once the ball gets into play how quickly this game moves. It is not hard to go from second to home on a little dribbler into the outfield, especially with the fact that you get a running leadoff. Again, baseball difference, you're used to that pitcher being able to pick off. Now Connor just got the strikeout there at Kennedy for the first out in the first inning. But back to your point, a pitcher and baseball can pick off the runners at the bases. And softball different because of the windup and delivery. You are on base until the pitch is delivered, released from the hand, but you get a running start, meaning you're moving faster and you've only got 60 feet between your bases.
All right.
So there's Connor. She comes set, delivers the pitch. That's going to be a strike. And our first strike on Haley Rudrick, the catcher, junior, for Mount Vernon. Myers still over at second base as Connor paces behind the circle and comes set on the rubber. She's up 0-1 on the count with 1 out here in the top of the first. Turns to bunt, and that is going to be a miss, and Rudrick is going to find a second strike quickly here in the hole, 0-2. And right now it feels like maybe Mount Vernon's offense is pressing a little too hard, trying to make something happen. There's moments when you get in these games, as much as you try to preach to your kids not to get excited, it's hard for them not to. And as the nerves go, the game will start to calm down in the later innings. So Connor comes set, rocks, fires. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3, strikeout number 2 for Connor. And after struggling with that first batter, she has come back and is throwing BBs for strikes. and she's getting a lot of help from her coaching staff. Most pitches in these games are called from the dugout, and they're doing a good job recognizing what that offense is trying to do with small ball and pitching inside, making it more difficult. So there Connor comes set. First pitch is a swing and a miss as Brooklyn Dovenbarger, the third base senior, steps in, the cleanup hitter here in the right-hander's box. And she was just off. Timing was good. Level was all that was off on that one. Interesting stance for the hitter here, Brooklyn, as she is way back in the box and half the foot is out of the back line. Now it's technically still in because she's touching it, but it's just a different stance. And there's a strike two. Painted the inside corner, did Connor, and a beautiful pitch there right at the knees. And that's what I'm talking about. The pitching coach for the Generals is recognizing that inside part of this plate is there, and these hitters are struggling to find any solid contact. Let's keep living in there. So Connor with an 0-2 count on Brooklyn Dovenbarger. Comes set, rocks. Here's the pitch, and high. Nice rise ball there out of the zone. Makes count 1-2.
With how close that plate is, these pitches, once they're released, they are at the plate so fast.
Oh, yeah, it's split seconds is the decision making you have from a 40, I believe they're at 43 feet, and you're coming at about 55 to 60 miles an hour. There's a foul ball, nice cut there by Brooklyn as she sends it off the back screen to stay alive, 1-2. Molly takes her time as she paces around behind the circle, finding her rhythm and her delivery. Comes set, gets foot planted on the rubber, checks her wristband for the pitch, gets ready on the rocks back and forth, comes with the delivery, and got her on the changeup. Strike three. So after she walked the first batter, she sets down the next three and strikeouts. Our score here at the middle of the first. Mount Vernon nothing. Anthony Wayne nothing.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
RCI Mechanical in Mount Vernon. RCI Mechanical, residential, commercial, industrial, your local plumbing company for 30 years. Call us for anything from a small drip to building a new house. We are also hiring. Call 740-398-0010 to apply. Benefits package includes vacations, paid holidays, IRAs, no nights and weekends, and work mainly in the Knox County area. Again, for more information, call the office at 740-398-0010. That's 740-398-0010. RCI Mechanical.
Welcome back to the bottom of the first inning. Our score here, Anthony Wayne 0, Mount Vernon 0, as they get set here to start their half of the first inning. We'd like to thank our sponsors for bringing you tonight's action: Extreme Air LLC, Griffin Insurance, KCVS, RCI Mechanical, Gearing Renovations, and Foster's Pharmacy. So after a leadoff walk, the Generals were able to shut down the Yellow Jackets in 3 strikeouts. They come now for their opportunity. We'll see here how Mount Vernon fares their first time on defense. Towing the rubber will be number 7, Jocelyn Scarberry, the sophomore, and stepping in, leading off is Lila Cariliza, the shortstop. Pitch is inside, ball 1. Right-handed hitter for the Generals. It's Carazales, is how you pronounce her last name. As she comes back in the box, up on the count 1-0. Scarberry delivers, and there's a foul ball straight back. She got the batter, Layla, to chase it up and out of the zone right about the eyeball level. And evens that count 1-1. Scarberry checks over to the dugout on the first base side for her signal. She comes set, rocks, and delivers, and again a foul ball, this time on the inside, and the batter, Layla, sends it right off of her shin. She's going to walk that off for a little bit. Coach checking on her, making sure she's doing okay. Head coach is Ronald Myers in his 12th season for the Generals. 266 wins, 48 losses in those 12 seasons. Like I said, last appearance in the state finals was 2023 as Scarborough delivers, and that pitch is fouled off as a just stay alive scream there from Lila Carizzles was able to send it down the right field line up against the fence. So the count stays 1-2 here. As Scarborough gets the ball back in the circle and comes set. Batter steps into the right-handed box as she gets ready now for her fourth pitch, and that is high. Tried to entice her with a changeup up around the shoulders, and the batter was able to stay off. So 2-2's the count for Lila as she steps back into the box, and Scarborough steps back on the rubber. Comes set, rocks, delivers, and foul ball again. A nice pitch underneath the hands, and a great job staying alive there by the young shortstop. And she was able to foul that pitch off and keep the count at 2-2. And what you want out of your leadoff hitter, may not, if they can't get on base, try to force as many pitches out of that hand as you can. Let your teammates see what they're going to go up against and how that looks. As the pitch is delivered again, a nice changeup. Good job staying back, but she got underneath it, popped it up, and that is an out to second baseman to make it first out here in the bottom of the first inning. So great job there battling at the plate, but ultimately the win goes to Scarborough. She was able to get her to pop out to second baseman, Presley Pope. And we got one out now as the next batter steps in. Second baseman, Peyton DeTrey. Right-handed hitter as well. Scarborough comes set, rotates the ball on her thigh, then delivers, and that is going to be a strike right at the top of the shoulders, right on the top of the zone there. Good pitch to get ahead 1-0 here in the second at bat. DeTrey comes set again as Scarborough rocks, delivers, and again a beautiful pitch, but this time a little too high, as that is going to be the first ball. A changeup on that pitch. She's starting to find her zone right now and doing a good job of zeroing in on the edges. And if she can get that high pitch, she's going to cause trouble all night long. Scarborough again, 1-1 count, pitch delivered, and this one goes past the hitter as DeTrey was not able to keep up with that on the low speed. It came off right around the knees for strike number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out here as Scarborough checks over to the dugout for a signal, checks her armband, comes set, rotates the ball on her thigh, and rocks and delivers. The pitch is up high, ball 2. So 2-2's the count right now, and good job there, coaching staff. Changing eye level, sends her on the strike, gets her to chase the one down low, tries to get her back up high. A good disciplinary there at the plate by DeTrey of staying true, not going after it. 2-2 pitch delivered, and strike 3, they got her. As they were able to pull the string, a beautiful off-speed pitch there. And that brings up out number 2, and the third hitter is going to be Megan Summer. Now a little bit different also in the game of baseball. Softball runs from knees to shoulders, or as they say, the leading armpit of the batter. And then you're going to run corner to corner, and they're going to give you the river. So you got about 17 inches of plate play left to right. And you got from knees to the shoulders, a little bit bigger zone. Nice pitch down the middle and driven right into right field, or center field, and a beautiful caught ball on the run. As that is the third out, as Mount Vernon answers with 3 zeros of their own. And our score at the end of 1, Mount Vernon nothing, Anthony Wayne nothing. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
And welcome back here as we get ready to start inning number 2. Division 2 state semifinals between Anthony Wayne Generals and Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets. 0-0 is our score. Vernon thought they had a little bit of offense cooking in the first inning as they were able to draw a leadoff walk, but after that, the senior Molly Connor locked in and finished the inning with 3 strikeouts to get them out of trouble. They were able to get Myers to second base, but no further, so no harm was done. And when the Generals got up the plate, Scarberry handled business 1-2-3. So now Scarberry gets a chance to help herself out as she leads off the top of the second. Connor comes set in the circle, rocks, and here's the delivery, and it's low and inside, ball 1. Scarberry talks down to the coach looking for the signal, and he's pretty much saying, I need a ball in play. I got nothing else to tell you, kid. Let's go. Connor comes set on the rubber. 2 different deliveries completely changes the way you see the ball that comes off. Connor is going to rock back and forth 2 to 3 times before she even puts the ball in the glove. Now that ball in the glove is a key part to the pitch. It is what actually establishes that start of the pitch. So as she's rocking back and forth prior to that ball going in the glove, that's not her pitching motion. So she could step off the rubber, she could do what she needs to do if she needs to. Now once that ball has hit the glove here, she must come forward with it or it's an illegal pitch. And this time she's got a foul ball, so Scarberry is now 2-1 in the count as they come set. And it's an interesting tactic, probably taught to her to rock back and forth a couple times, see if you can't get some tells and tees from your batters, and allows you then to step off, adjust your defense to that, rather than being forced to have to come forward and rock and fire. Come set again, rocks back, and here's the delivery on the 1-2, and 2-1. This pitch again fouled off to the right.
Looked like it was off the handle of a bat bag.
Yeah, another inside pitch. They are not afraid to live on the inside, and that's a sign of great pitching there. A lot of pitchers fear getting in there for the hit batter. But if you can have a pitcher in there, you really kind of handcuff because most hitters aren't quick enough to bring it around. Scarberry turning to bunt as if that's going to happen here on a 2-2 count. As she comes set, does Connor. Scarberry rocks back and swings, and again fouls it off to the right. And again, an inside pitch, jamming her on the hands. Best way she's going to have to fight this is she's going to have to get the hands through that zone extremely fast to get out in front of that pitch and be able to do something with it. But the pitching staff may find it right here to go to the outside part of that plate and see if they can't get her to chase it away. Connor rocks back and forth. Scarberry comes set. There's the pitch again inside. She did get her hands around it on this time, but a little dribbler as it caught off the lower part of the barrel of the bat this time down the third base line and foul. So staying alive, seeing pitches. Not really playing the Bee Gees staying alive yet, but we're getting there. As Scarberry steps back in. 2-2 is the count. No outs here at the top of the second. 0-0 is our score. Connor rocks. Here comes the pitch, the delivery, and ball high. Woo! Great eye there by Scarberry. That was tasting the top of the zone as a couple of the fans are letting the blue know behind the plate. He said it was just a little bit high and makes the count full 3-2. What you call an action pitch. Something's going on, you gotta move, gotta move. Scarberry in the box, showing bunt again as Connor rocks back and forth. Now she comes set, here's the pitch, and strike 3 call on the inside part of the plate. Scarberry thought it might have been a little bit on the extra inside. The blue said no, that caught the corner of the plate, and that is strike number 3. Thank you for coming.
As she was geared up to take that walk right there.
Yeah, she thought she had it. She was trying to sell it, get called by the blue there. 1 out now. Stepping up to the plate will be Grace Bates. As she turns show bunt, Connor rocks, she delivers, and it's going to be low and inside, ball 1. Right now, the Yellow Jackets offense is trying to find some way to get the offense moving. Connor has not given them any opportunities with a great job so far pitching to start the game. Bates turns to show butt, now comes set, there's the delivery and foul pitch, straight back this time. Off the bat of Bates, and strike one to make the count 1-1. Again, score here 0-0 as we sit in the top of the second inning. Perched up on the top of the stands here at beautiful Firestone Stadium in Akron, Ohio. Connor back in the circle, comes set, rocks. Bates shows the bunt, pulls back, and there's the delivery, there's the hit to second, and that's going to be a routine out for number 2. There's a good job there by the second baseman fielding that, and making a good throw to get out number 2 was Peyton Betray. So 2 outs here now, as stepping into the plate is going to be Keely Pollard, first base sophomore for the Yellow Jackets. Even when the ball is hit into play, there's not a lot of speed to it. They're coming off the bat a little bit dead right now, which tells me she's doing a good job mixing up her speeds as she gets the first swing and a miss there on her first pitch, does Connor. And Pollard falls in the hole, 0-1. Connor comes set now, checks her wristband to get the pitch. Rocks back and forth, here's the delivery, and a swing and a miss. As Pollard was out in front of that one on the changeup. So 0-2's the count now for Connor as she's got 2 outs here and looks to send the Yellow Jackets back to the hive again without any honey. Connor comes set on the circle. Walks back and forth. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and there's a foul ball straight back to the right.
I think that one hit the roof up here.
It did, my friend. That's a good little pop-up on that one. You're probably looking at a nice little 25-foot deck to get up top. So she stays alive at 0-2 now as she gets back in the right-handed batter box. Connor checks her wristband, rocks back and forth, comes set. There's the delivery, and the pitch is straight 3. So again, 3 up, 3 down. As we get ready to go to the bottom half of the second inning, you're listening to high school baseball on WMVO.
From Mount Vernon in the second inning,
serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
Great news, Central Ohio. Foster's Pharmacy offers daily dose packaging, which are convenient and simple. It's truly personalized care you're looking for. It just starts with a call to get started. Take the hassle out of your medications. Call 740-392-0911. Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy.
Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Welcome back to softball, not baseball. Come on, Gary, be on top of your game. As we get ready here for the bottom half of the second inning, 0-0 is our score. Only had 1 base runner all game long. That's the leadoff hitter for Mount Vernon as she drew a walk. And since then, it has been lights out from both pitching staffs. So Connor will step into the box to lead off here at the bottom of the second as Scarberry comes set. Pitch is delivered and strike 1 as Connor offered. Was not able to connect. It's one thing as a coach, you always want your pitcher working ahead. Get ahead of the count, and you don't have as much pressure on you there as the 0-1 pitch is delivered and again paints the top end of that zone and makes it 0-2 on the called strike. So Scarberry having no problem hitting her spots this evening or afternoon. She comes set now on the 0-2 pitch. Rolls the ball in her thigh, delivers, and this is high outside. Ball 1. Good job there by Connor recognizing that, not chasing it up and out of the zone. She takes a little stroll out of the box, recollects her thoughts, comes set. Scarberry rolls the ball on her thigh and then delivers, and that is strike 3 as she painted again the top of the zone. And Anthony Wayne's hitters are struggling to recognize that top area as they are watching them go by one after another.
It's kind of funny how Mount Vernon's pitching outside and high, and then Anthony Wayne here is pitching very inside and all of that.
Yes, yep. Two different styles, two different approaches, both currently having a lot of success. As Scarberry comes set to deliver, and changeup gets the batter way out in front of this. Foul ball towards the third base dugout. And a great effort there by both Brooklyn Dovenbog at third, and the catcher, Harley Kennedy, as they hustled over there, but it fell out of play. And it makes the count 0-1 now. Stepping back in is going to be Gabby Nowitzki, third base junior. And Scarberry delivers, and again, a liner this time to third, as she had a changeup she got way out in front of and just got it off the end of the bat, and a great job there by Dovenbarger to haul it in and get the second out. So 2 outs now as the center fielder steps in, number 10, Casey Jo Carter. Right-handed hitter for these Generals, a junior, as Scarberry comes set, rocks, delivers, and this time she gets a grounder right up to the middle herself, helps herself out, and 1-2-3 once again for the Generals as you're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
Go to shophossaa.com.
And welcome back as we get ready for the top of the third. So I was telling Gary before the game started, the one thing I like about softball, it's fast. There's not a lot of waiting around. It's not played like its counterpart baseball, where there's a lot of in-between pitches and in-between time. You blink and you can miss it.
I was just thinking that, Kyle. We were at the Centerburg game recently, and it was just like this, 0-0 for a while, a lot of strikeouts, and that game was taking a lot longer. We're already in the top of the third here.
Yeah, they're moving. They're making no qualms about it now. Again, they have a heavy, aggressive schedule all throughout the day as they play host to all of the division softball semifinals and finals here at Firestone. As coming up after this game, Centerville will be taking on Massillon Jackson, and after that, Lancaster takes on Lebanon. And 2 semifinals of Division 1. So we're going to get started here for the top of the third. And leading off is going to be Presley Pope, the second baseman for the Yellow Jackets, as she steps into that right-hand batter's box. Connor steps on the rubber, comes set, does a normal rock. Now she's ready for the delivery. And there's a swing and a miss. She got it up and out of the zone. And she was able to get Pope to chase. So she gets ahead 0-1 here to start off the third. Connor back on the rubber as she rocks back and forth in her normal motion. And comes set for the delivery. And again, Pope unable to make contact as she swung through that pitch and quickly finds herself in the hole, 0-2. So quickly back in the box does she go. And she comes set. And here's the show the bunt with 2 strikes. And then you come back and get set. And here's the pitch. And she went. Strike 3 called. As Connor gets another strikeout for, I believe, 5th for the game. So Connor again struggled with that first batter on the leadoff walk, but since then has been lights out and has given the Yellow Jackets trouble trying to find any type of solid contact. So Harley Stindl will step into the box now with 1 out. Connor comes set as she rocks back and forth, delivers, and this ball is fouled off. As Harley was able to just get a piece of that one at the top of the zone. So she steps out of the box, looks down to third, walks through her routine before she gets back in and comes set. Connor rocks back and forth now as she delivers the pitch and again gets her to chase it, this time even higher up and out of the zone. 0-2 now as the count quickly on the Yellow Jackets batter. Again, a lot of what I feel to be a little bit pressing right now from the Yellow Jacks offense, trying to find a way to get that ball into play. So in the hole 0-2 now as Harley earns with the shown bunt. Now comes set, and the delivery this time fouls it straight back and over the roof to stay alive. 0-2 here. Harley Sindel, freshman for these Yellow Jackets, plays third. She comes set. 0-2 count, 1 out here in the top of the third. Connor rocks back and forth. There's the delivery, and there's a cut, and again a foul ball. And again, straight back, this time a slightly to the left as it lands on the roof and rolls backwards.
Yeah, any late arrivals to the stadium here better have their eyes looking up as they're coming in.
Yeah, you're gonna get a rain of softballs when Harley's at the plate. She has sent 2 over top right now. So staying alive in that box, she is. Down 0-2, 1 out, moved up a little bit in the box, changing her position as Connor comes set, and this time low. Actually hit the turf before it even got to home plate. She may have caught her wrist on her thigh as she came through on that delivery motion. But either way, that's the first ball that has been delivered here to Harley. So Harley now is kind of right in the middle of the box. So originally she's lined up on the back half. She should bunt. Now she'll come set. Connor delivers, and this time she rips into it and foul. First well-hit ball they've had so far tonight, but just a little too soon as it goes down that third base line and falls foul along the track. So 1-2 stays the count as Harley is now maybe getting a little more confidence in herself. Fouled off 2, 3 in a row now. Last one a little bit better timing. Turn shows that bunt as Connor gets on the pitching plate. Rocks back and forth. Now she comes set with the delivery, and this time she timed it perfect, and that's right down that left field line. Fair ball up against the fence. Hits the 200 mark as the left fielder gets out to it and brings it in. But a stand-up double as Harley Stindl did a great job in that at bat, fighting it off, making an adjustment, and then driving it right down that left field line for a stand-up double with 1 out.
It almost looked like Anthony Wayne's left fielder thought that was going to go foul, as that hit maybe a foot before the foul line on that fence.
Yeah, she definitely, and she was almost as if she was throwing her hands up. I saw what you were saying and kind of held back a little bit. I don't think it would have changed her ability to catch that ball with what she did, but yeah, she definitely thought that was going to go foul. But Harley had other plans as she sits on second base. And we're going to have a pinch runner come in the game. Now, for those of you not completely familiar, you do get 1 exit and re-entry in softball. So the pinch runner can come in, Harley can go sit on the bench, and Harley still will get a chance to come back in the game to play. Obviously, your subs have to go right back in for the sub they pulled them for, but it is a little bit of a different rule than when you're in baseball. Once you're out, you're out. Softball, you get 1 re-entry.
Yeah, this momentum might be what Mount Vernon needed. As she ran back, the entire dugout was jumping up and down for her.
They have definitely come to life, and now Riley Myers, the leadoff hitter, steps back on, back into the box. As she comes set and fouls that one off. As the pinch runner for the Yellow Jackets over at second base. I can't tell if that was a 28 or a 50. So bear with me. I believe it is Layla Joyner. So 0-1 count here on Myers as she comes set. Connor rocks, delivers, and Myers offers but pulls it back. And it's low, ball 1. Definitely looking to move her up a small ball here right now is Coach Pence. Myers steps back in the box. Connor on the pitching plate. Checks her wristband, comes set as she rocks back and forth. Brings the pitch, and again, high, ball 2. Myers doing a great job there recognizing that, pulling the bunt back. And now sits in a great position, 2-1 with 1 out here, and a runner on second. Scoreless in the top of the 3rd inning as the Generals comes set on defense. Connor rocks back and forth. Here's a delivery to Myers, and Myers slaps it right past second base. And there it goes. Second in to put score as Meyer rounds second. She's on her way to third. Don't stop her, coach. Send her home. Oh, he's going to hold her tight at third. But nonetheless, scoring triple for Myers.
That was a great hit. Touched the fence before they got to it. She made it to third. Could have made it home. Coach stopped her right as that ball was touching the infield, though.
And it's a good call there by the coach. Don't run yourself out of it inning. Don't get that second out at home. You still got a runner there. You're at the top of your lineup. Give them the opportunity.
Yeah, with only one good out, any decent hit will send her home.
Exactly. And now you see what I mean by second base being scoring position. Once that ball goes, you're gone. But Anthony Wayne's going to have a little bit of a conference here, and Coach Meyer is going to talk to him about just calming down. You know, the crowd here is pumped. Mount Vernon's pumped. Their stands, their dugout. But again, it's the third inning. You've given up one run and only 2 hits. But that tells you the kind of pressure that these kids get put in out here on this field in these situations. As at this stage, you don't have time for 1 or 2 runs. Oops, I'll come back. The quality of play at this level is so tight, you have to understand that. So he gathered them up, got them to calm themselves back down, realize what's going on, and get yourselves out of the inning. So reset here, 0-0 count. Kennedy steps into the box. Runner at third. 1-0 is our score, top of the third, as Mount Vernon lays down the bunt. There it is, perfect, as she was able to get it in. And that is exactly how you play small ball, and that showed me exactly right now Anthony Wayne's players are a little hesitant. Third base had no heart or intention on that drive. She didn't come flying up after that ball and then just kind of lightly tossed it to the catcher. They're reeling right now, and if Mount Vernon wants to get this game put away, this is the inning they're going to have to do it, as they've taken a 2-0 lead. Kennedy now sits on first base, stepping in to bat for the Yellow Jackets. And a big swing and a miss there by Haley Rudrick. They fall behind 0-1 as Coach Pence barks down at her from the third base line, reminding her to take home. Don't press. Here's the 0-1 delivery by Connor. And inside, swing and a miss, but the steal down to second by Kennedy, and they say she got out. They say she got her. It looked like she got her hand in underneath. Maybe he's saying when the legs flipped up on the back, that's when they got her before she touched it. From my angle, it looked like she might have got in there. The head coach is going out to talk to the official at second base to ask if he is willing to have a conference possibly with his partners, as he feels as well that she was safe at second. So.
Well, from up here, it almost looked like that tag missed.
Yeah, that's kind of the view I had as well. And again, I've been an umpire behind the plate and I've been in the field. Angles are extremely important. I'm sitting, Gary's sitting, we're probably 20, 25 feet up above the field looking down into it. So that would kind of give you a little bit of a different viewpoint. But the officials come together, they have discussed it, and she is still going to be called out. So a big break there for the Generals as they get Kennedy out at second base for the second out. And now Haley Rudrick steps back in the box down 0-1. Or excuse me, 0-2. So what was looking like it might be a big power inning for the Yellow Jackets quickly has its momentum changed. As Connor comes sets, deliver, and got her up and out of the zone, strike 3. And that'll be the end of the third inning, top half of the third. Our score, Mount Vernon 2, Anthony Wayne nothing. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
RCI Mechanical in Mount Vernon. RCI Mechanical, residential, commercial, industrial, your local plumbing company for 30 years. Call us for anything from a small drip to building a new house. We are also hiring. Call 740-398-0010 to apply. Benefits package includes vacations, paid holidays, IRAs, no nights and weekends, and work mainly in the Knox County area. Again, for more information, call the office at 740-398-0010. That's 740-398-0010. RCI Mechanical.
And welcome back as we get started here with the bottom half of the third inning. Mount Vernon finally was able to put a crooked number up on that scoreboard as they were able to put 2 runs across home plate. Had a leadoff double by Harley Stendel. And then followed by that was a triple by Riley Myers. And Myers was able to score on a bunt by Carly Kennedy. Unfortunately, Carly Kennedy got caught at second for the second out. And that was the end of the rally as Haley Ruderick was not able to make contact, struck out swinging to end the inning. So that's where we sit, 2-0 now as the Generals come up to bat to see if they can't answer that. As leading off for them is going to be Carly Messenger, first baseman for these Generals, a senior. As the home plate umpire is having a conversation with the head coach for Anthony Wayne right now. He doesn't seem too happy about the way that conversation went. Mount Vernon's head coach is also having a conversation with him. Not quite sure what this is over. I don't know if this is over the substitutions and then subbing back in. Either way, home plate official is making sure he's got it all marked and under control, and everybody's in the show. And he's just making sure that Anthony Wayne's aware of the change as well. And while they're doing that, we'd like to thank all our sponsors: Extreme Air LLC, Griffin Insurance, KCBS, RCI Mechanical, Gearing Renovations, and Foster's Pharmacy. So here we are set now to begin the bottom half of the third inning. Mount Vernon up 2-0 on Anthony Wayne in game number 2 of the Division II state semifinals. Scarberry comes set, delivers, and there's a strike right down the middle of the plate. As she is locked in today. 0-1 count here. As Messenger comes set in the right-hand box. Tight up against that inside line on the plate. Again, the pitch delivered, change up high for ball 1. Messenger loves to crowd that plate. She doesn't give much room on the inside there for the pitchers to work with as she steps in, front toes right on that inside line. Back of the box she comes set, and there's the pitch, and there's a swing and a miss, strike 2. As our count now sits at 1-2, Scarberry still in control from the circle. As she comes set now, rubs the ball on her thigh in her normal pattern. Pitchers are creatures of habit, my friend. As she delivers, and this time high and outside for a ball. Keeping Messenger alive. 2-2's the count now as Messenger comes set in the box. And Scarberry comes set on the plate. She rocks, she delivers, and gets her strike 3. As the catcher was falling back like she was about to leave for the inning, that's the first out for the Generals. As coming to the plate now will be Addie Benning, the shortstop, the young freshman. Excuse me, third base.
Number 35, Addie Benning.
As she sets up right about the middle of the box. Back foot right about the tip of the plate. And Scarberry comes set in the circle. Rocks back and delivers, and this pitch on the inside corner, strike 1. So again, Scarberry doing what she needs to do, getting ahead of these batters. Not having to fight her way back from behind and wear her arm out. She comes set, looks at a wristband. Didn't like the call. Got a better plan herself, it sounds like. And she comes set, rolls the ball, rocks, and delivers. And a ball must have been inside. Looked like it was right across the top of that zone, but either way, it puts the count 1-1. Scarberry set again as she comes to deliver, and this pitch outside, ball 2. So changing location, inside, outside. See if she comes back here to get this, see if she can get this count even back up. I'd suspect something around the mid to lower level of that strike zone as the pitch is delivered, and again another high pitch for ball 3. Scarberry looks a little frustrated on that one. It maybe that she felt that was in the same spot a couple others on the top end of the zone have been. But this time the official said no, ma'am. And you're looking at a 3-1 count now here for the young freshman, Addie Benning. Scarborough comes set now on the rubber. She delivers, and this time she gets Benning to blow right through it as she put on a little extra gas for strike number 2. So 3-2's the count. One out here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 is the score. Mount Vernon on top of Anthony Wayne in the semifinals of Division II state softball. As that pitch is again high, and again Scarborough not real happy with it, as that would be a walk for Benning. And that will be the first base runner for the Generals here today. So Piper Phillips will be coming in to bat here for the Generals, but right now Pence wants to have a conversation with his players around the infield in the circle, and again reminding them, calm down, deep breath, one runner, not the end of the game. But we've got to make sure defensively we know what we're doing, where we're going with that ball, and what our next plays are going to be. You don't want to get frustrated because you don't feel like you're getting the calls at the plate and let your play in the defense start to slide. Good call there by the coach. Just make sure his kids get back on that same page, understand, look, so be it. You got a runner on first, doesn't really matter. We got one out, let's get the batter here. We're still up 2-0. That runner on first really doesn't matter even if she gets home.
And the last thing you want Mount Vernon to do is start to feel bad about their defense after just going up 2 last inning.
Correct, 100%. Stay in the positive, as they say. So Scarberry's got it again as we come set. She rocks and delivers, and it is high and outside. Ball 1. So Piper Phillips is young sophomore outfielder here for the Generals. Has spent a little time pitching as well. As she's set in the box, Scarborough delivers. She shows a bunt, but does not bunt on the pitch. And quickly 2-0 now. And Scarborough has lost the rhythm a little bit right here in the last 2 batters. So Piper comes set in the box as Scarborough delivers, and again turns bunts, and again high. Ball 3. Right now, Scarberry is just struggling to find that control. I think maybe pushing a little bit too hard, trying to get back in on top of this. So 3-0 count here as the ball is delivered, and strike called. Delayed and deliberate call there by home umpire. So makes the count 3-1 now with 1 out. Phillips turns. Pitches high, ball 4. So 2 walks now for Scarberry, puts runners at first and second. And brings up Lila Pirazales to the plate. So 2 on, 1 out here. 2-0 is the score. Mount Vernon on top, but the Generals are definitely threatening. As Scarberry is lost control here over the last 2 batters and has walked both of them. As a pinch runner will now come in for the Generals, number 18, Kinley White, freshman, at first base.
For Anthony Wayne, number 18, Kinley White.
The officials making sure that Mount Vernon scorekeeper is aware of what's going on as well. The little Jack and Diane playing in the background. So what was going at a good clip has decided to put it into snail mode. And this pace of play in this game has slowed down dramatically. It finally comes set. Layla comes up to bat with 2 runners on, 1 out. Scarberry set in the circle with the delivery, and this is a shot right to right center field. It'll get down as the center fielder cuts it off, bobbles the ball, throws it in to home plate. And that'll be enough to keep the runner at third, but not before a run gets crossed. And a 1-run, 1-out single for the Generals. as they look to answer. Up to bat now will become Peyton DeTrey. And again, another timeout for Mount Vernon, this time the assistant coach coming out onto the field.
I don't think it's just the speed of this game that just changed. The momentum feels like it has entirely shifted to Anthony Wayne's side with one on board now and then a runner on second and third. Only one out.
100%. 100%. And that's the beauty of this game. It goes so fast in between momentum shifts. What you think is a normal inning can turn into an absolute chaos. I mean, I coach more of these games than I care to count. And to watch a game that you think you have in the bag go sideways so fast on you from one play, or to watch your team come back from a game that you don't think you should win from one play. That's the beauty of this game. It can change so quickly and so abruptly that you're never really fully out of it. So 2-1's our score here, bottom of the third, as we've got 2 runners on second and third, 1 out, as the tray is up to bat for the Generals, and Scarberry's first delivery to her is a strike on the high outside corner. Scarberry comes set again in that circle as she rocks back and forth. The tray turns to bunt. She does not bunt. I guess the umpire said she got it back in time as well, and it is another ball. So 1-1's the count there. Scarberry taking her time behind the plate, or excuse me, behind the pitching rubber. And she finally comes set, rocks back, delivers. There's a pitch, the bunt down that first base line, and hesitation, but she does get the out. As the first baseman thought about coming home, recognized it might be too tight, got the guaranteed out at first. Made the smart play there. You give up the run to tie it, but now you're 2 outs with a runner at third, and you're 1 out away from getting out of this and going right back to where you were at. So stepping to the plate now for the Generals is going to be Megan Summer, the catcher, number 22, junior. As Scarberry comes set on the plate, rolls the ball on her thigh. Rocks back, delivers, and there's a strike swinging. Summer was not able to catch up to the heat. So again, bottom of the third, 2-2 is our score. Mount Vernon Generals tied up as Mount Vernon took 2 in the first half of this inning. But the Generals will come back to answer it and have one still sitting at third with 2 outs. But this time Summer swings again and misses, and Scarberry is up 0-2 on her. So we'll see where the next pitch goes for her. As she checks over to the dugout for the signal, looks at her wristband and comes set. Rocks back and forth as she delivers and fouled off. Summer just getting her bat on that, and a stay alive swing, and keeps the count 0-2 here with 2 outs at the bottom of the third inning. Summer steps into the box after looking down third baseline. And Scarberry rocks and comes set as she delivers the pitch, and this one's driven out to right field and should be caught, and it is. So the score now at the end of 3, Mount Vernon 2, Anthony Wayne 2. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Veterans serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
Filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
And welcome back as we get started here with the top of the 4th inning of the state semifinal softball game between the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets and Anthony Wayne Generals. As our score here, 2-2. As they've got a duel going on right now between these two pitchers. Both pitchers last inning being their first inning of struggles. The most hits I'd seen Connor give up for Anthony Wayne was last inning, and then Scarberry just could not find that strike zone for a little while there in the bottom half of the inning, and those walks came back to haunt her as they were able to put 2 more runs up on the board as well, but only on 1 hit, as there was an error involved in that process that also cost her a run from the center fielder. So that's where we sit. 2-2 is our score going into the 4th inning. As it looks like we may have a new pitcher for the Generals.
Yeah, when you said we have a duel going on here, I thought you were talking about the peas and the grapes that were racing down the first baseline here.
No, I know. I probably should have given them a lot better props then, but I couldn't figure out it was peas. I wasn't sure what the other outfit was, so that's why I just, was going to let that race go. I was actually disappointed you weren't down there involved in that, but nonetheless, I digress as we get started here as Connor has the ball back in the circle and Duvenbarger steps up to the plate. Molly rocks as she delivers, and a pitch inside, ball, strike 1. So quickly she falls behind the count 0-1 as Connor looks to the third base dugout for the signal, checks her wristband. Comes set as she rocks and delivers, and this one's high and swung on for strike 2 as Brooklyn helped her out a little bit on that pitch. Brooklyn checks down to third base for signals as she gets back into the box. Connor gets a little bit of a dirt spot from the ground on her fingers to help dry them off, wipes it off, gets back on the plate. There's the delivery, and there's a drive out to center field, and it will be caught right to the left of the Firestone logo for out number 1. A good hit there by Brooklyn, unfortunately, right to the defender for out number 1.
Stepping to the plate for Mount Vernon, the pitcher, number 7,
So Scarberry will now come up to bat here, see if she can't give herself another helping hand. She got it started last inning with a double. Connor rocks as she delivers, and the pitch is inside, ball 1. For Scarberry, it's important, don't bring last inning up to the plate with you here. Remember what you did last time. You got a nice hit. Focus back in on that. Connor's on the plate, rocks, delivers, and Scarberry cuts, fouls this ball off to the right. Strike number 1, making it a 1-1 count here with 1 out. Again, our score 2-2. Top of the 4th inning between the home team Anthony Wayne and the visiting Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets in the semifinals of Division II state playoffs. Connor back in the circle, gets on the pitching plate, and she rocks back and forth with the delivery, and there's a strike there. Scarberry just watched that dance across her knees on the inside part of the plate. Scarberry checks back in. 1-2 is the count, 1 out as Connor looks into the dugout for her signal, checks her wristband, starts her rocking motion as she comes set on the pitching plate, and here's the delivery, and Scarberry again fouls this one off. Just to the right behind her, up against the netting. Right now it's just a matter of timing she's got to get, and she's just slightly off on that, slightly low. We saw last at bat she drove the ball out to center field for a double, so it's a matter of time before she finds it. Shows bunt as she comes set, now gets set, and there's the pitch. You watch that strike 3 go by on the outside corner, and that will be out number 2. And she knew it too as soon as that ball went across that plate. That was one of those that just kind of danced out there, an off-speed pitch. You tell yourself you need to do something with, but you never really do. And unfortunately for her, that's strike 3 as she heads back to the dugout. So 2 outs now as Grace Bates steps up to the plate. Shortstop for the Yellow Jackets. Senior as she shows bunt. Connor rocks back and forth. She pulls back and gets ready and turns and misses on strike 1. So it looks like Connor's starting to lock in a little bit more here against these Yellow Jacket hitters. We'll see if they're able to find a way to get some more action on the bases. There's the pitch and delivery, and this time it's going to be popped up to the first base side, and a great play there by the first baseman as Carly Messenger caught it over her shoulder falling down for out number 3. So our score here, Mount Vernon 2, Anthony Wayne 2. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Great news, Central Ohio. Foster's Pharmacy offers daily dose packaging, which are convenient and simple. It's truly personalized care you're looking for. It just starts with a call to get started. Take the hassle out of your medications. Call 740-392-0911. Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy.
Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
And welcome back as we get ready for the bottom half of the 4th inning here in Akron, Ohio, at beautiful Firestone Stadium, as the clouds have come in a little bit more and kind of taken that sun away, but still a beautiful day. Just a light little breeze to kind of help keep the air moving. Excellent day for some softball, as we've got a great match here between the Generals of Anthony Wayne out of Lucas County and the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets out of Knox County. 2-2 is our score, the bottom of the 4th inning. As the Generals come up to bat here, leading off will be Molly Connor for Anthony Wayne. So Scarberry checks her wristband as she looks over to the dugout, comes set on the pitching plate as she delivers, and there's a drive right in between second and the second baseman into the outfield for a base hit. And right now it just seems that the confidence level on the Anthony Wayne side of the field is slightly higher than the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, if you're the Yellow Jackets, you don't want them immediately getting someone on base after you just struck out last time.
Yeah, this is where Anthony Wayne's going to want to put the pressure on them, see if they can't put this game to sleep and try to take it all away from them. So Scarberry comes set, turn, bunt, perfect bunt down that first base line as she gets the out at first, but Connor is able to advance to second base, and that's exactly what you need, runner in scoring position with one out. And you know, a lot of these games, and as a coach, I would tell my kids this a lot of times too, you have dominant pitching like this from both sides. A lot of times that means that the defense doesn't get a lot of opportunities. And so when you start putting the ball in play, mistakes can happen a little bit more because they're not ready for it and not expecting it. And I think that's what the offense here for Wayne is trying to take advantage of, as well as Mount Vernon. As you see both times, once the runners are on, they start playing small ball. They're not looking to get it to the outfield. They're not worried about that. They're going to put the pressure on the infielders. They're going to say, look, you're not used to having to do this. Let's see what you can do. So Scarberry comes to deliver, and there's a shot to third base off the glove. It's going to stay fair as it rolls over to the line, and that is going to be a run scored as Connor comes across, and a double as Anthony Wayne's batter was able to get to second base. And that is just a heartbreaker, as that was a screamer to third base and just went off the glove of the defender. She tried to make the play, was Keely Pollard, and she just was not able to grab it. Bounced off. No, that wasn't Pollard. That was Brooklyn Dovenbarger. Unfortunate for the young lady, it went off her glove and then kicked into foul territory, and that distance away from her as well as the next defender was enough for the runner to get to second, allow the runner at second to come home and score, and give Anthony Wayne the lead 3-2 here. As I talked before the game, there's a reason they call that the hot corner at third base. I mean, that you got less than 60 feet to react to a ball coming at you, probably about 80 to 90 miles an hour minimum. And so while the poor young lady Brooklyn feels absolutely devastated about that, you can't hang your head. She made the attempt, it just unfortunately she couldn't control it, and that's the way the game goes. So 3-2 is the score here now with one out as Scarberry delivers, and it's going to be high ball one to Kennedy Williams, freshman in the batter's box for the Generals. Runner on second for the Generals as they have a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the fourth. And there's a nice changeup. She just dropped that right on the middle of the plate and froze the knees of the hitter Williams. 1-1's our count now. Scarberry comes set back on the plate. Rolls the ball on her thigh before she comes ready. Rocks and delivers, and foul ball as Williams is able to foul it off to the right. Make the count 1-2. Now I would think I would try to pull the string on her one more time with a changeup, as she seemed to not know what to do with it the first time she saw it. So Scarberry on the plate comes set as she rocks with the delivery and gets Williams out in front of it, and she turns it over and throws high over to first base. Devenbach tried to look the runner back to second and then made the throw, but it was high. Down the line it goes, and that allows Williams to get all the way to third, and that allows the runner to score to make it 4-2.
That's something unfortunate that's happened twice here. If the ball goes over or tips off your glove, the foul area on this field is very deep. You've got to go far to recover that ball.
Indeed you do, and catcher's going down doing what you need to do. You should talk to our third baseman saying, get out of your head, you got this, you've done this before, it's all right, kiddo. But the other thing is you got to kind of look at, like I spoke about it a little bit earlier, when you're not used to having base runners, you're not in the habit of doing things. And right field was also slow in getting over there on the backup, which is the other reason why it took so long. Again, not demeaning these kids. I'm just saying that if you don't have this as your daily routine of you're used to always having to go over and field and get behind there, you forget sometimes, especially in these high pressure situations. And that cost Mount Vernon as the runner was able to get the third. So Williams is on third. We've got one out. Our score is 4-2. As Scarberry delivers, and it is going to be strike one to Addie Benning. Number 9 hitter here for the Generals. So 0-1's the count as Scarberry again back on the pitching plate, turns, and a attempted bunt, but she was not able to get it down, so now she's in the hole 0-2. Benning takes a deep breath. She regroups herself in the hole, 0-2. And Scarberry now steps on the plate, rocks and delivers, and gets her strike 3. Good pitching there by Scarberry to come back and take a little wind out of those sails for the Generals. So 2 outs now as Piper Phillips steps up to the plate. Leadoff hitter for the Generals. Scarberry checks her wristband as she looks over to the dugout. Again, runner on third, 2 outs. 4-2 is our score in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch is outside. Ball 1. Phillips back into the box. She comes set. Scarberry steps back on the pitching plate. Rocks back. Here's the delivery, and there's a swing and a miss. Good pitch there as Phillips was not able to catch up with that heat. Makes count 1-1. Phillips again back in the box as Scarberry checks her wristband and comes set. Rocks back and delivers, and foul ball straight back. And she was just underneath that pitch and falls in the hole, 1-2.
Yeah, Mount Vernon really needs to get another strike here, close out this inning before they have a chance to really run away with it.
Indeed. You let another run across the field here, or the plate here, it might not be something you can overcome. So Scarberry rocks back, delivers. Ooh, oh. Well, I tell you, again, angles. I get my angles, but it looked like the same pitch that had been given to her earlier, kind of up in the zone, and I think that's where Scarberry's frustrations are starting to settle in, is you gave it to me early, now you're not giving it to me. What am I supposed to do? And unfortunately, that's part of the game, but one that also has an effect on it. As a swing there is fouled straight back by Piper, or excuse me, Phillips. Keeps count at 2-2 with 2 outs. So deuces are wild. Runner on third, 2-4, or 4-2, however you want to look at it. Anthony Wayne is on top of Mount Vernon. Scarberry rocks and delivers, and again high with that pitch, 3-2. Again, Scarberry takes her time as she paces behind the pitching plate, looks for the signal and gets it, comes set. Phillips is in the box as she delivers, and swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's what you needed. So after 4 innings, it's Anthony Wayne 4, Mount Vernon 2. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
And welcome back as we get ready here for the top of the 5th inning. Mount Vernon trails Anthony Wayne 4-2 in the semifinals of the Division II state playoffs. So Mount Vernon now is going to see if they can't answer back anyway, shape or form to get some more runs on the board, as Kelly Pollard will lead off for the Yellow Jackets. As Connor stays in the middle of the circle to pitch. And right now what's coming back to haunt these Yellow Jackets are those 2 errors that sit on the far right of that scoreboard. Let's see if they're able to find some way to overcome that. As they come set here, Pollard again will be the hitter leading off the top of the 5th for the Yellow Jackets.
Leading off the 5th inning for the Lady Jackets, first baseman, number 24, Keely Pollard.
So Pollard's in the box now as Connor looks over to the third base dugout to get her signal. Checks her wristband and comes set as she rocks back and forth. And she comes with the delivery, and the pitch is delivered, and swing and a miss, strike 1. That's what you like to see if you're sitting on Anthony Wayne's side right now, as your pitcher, as the game has gone, has gotten more and more dominant. She has not struggled. She's actually gotten tighter with her pitchers and able to get things moving quicker for her. Where on the other side, Scarborough has had a rough go of it. So Pollard offers on number 2 and swings and misses to fall quickly in the hole 0-2. As she looks down to Coach Pence for a little bit of advice. He reminds her to keep her head level, to keep it steady. And you've got to see it all the way through to the bat. She's getting a little anxious with that front shoulder, letting it fly open. So Connor rocks. There's the delivery. And again, swing and a miss, strike 3. As Pollard just could not get that one figured out at the plate today. And goes down quickly to make it 1 out here in the top of the 5th. And you get to these situations, you know you need runs, you know you need to make things happen. It is so difficult as an athlete to tell yourself, I still cannot change the way I approach my at-bats, the way I play this game, how I do things, as Connor delivers again, and this time is at a swing and a miss again by Presley Pope, fall in the hole 0-1. And right now I feel like Mount Vernon, unfortunately, is still trying to figure that out. Their athletes are trying to do maybe a little bit too much outside of what they normally do, hoping to get a spark. And unfortunately, it's not working in their favor, as Connor again delivers another strike on the inside part of the plate that Pope just watched dance by. And it's just, you can just tell in that box they don't have confidence. I don't know if they can't see the ball well out of her hand, or if they're not comfortable with what the zone they're being given by the umpire behind home plate is. But there's just no confidence in that batter's box that you're seeing right now from the Yellow Jackets. That pitch is delivered high for ball 1. So Pope sits 1 and 2 with 1 out here, as Connor takes a little bit of a stroll behind the pitching circle before resetting herself and coming in. So Presley Pope shows bunt, now pulls it back as Connor rocks and delivers, and a swing and a miss again. Foul tip into the glove this time for out number 2.
Well, the real bad part about that is for Mount Vernon, if you're sitting here, it's top of the 5th, 2 outs, you're not going to have many more chances at bat to figure it out.
Exactly, 100%. And that is what they're going to have to figure out quickly. But here's Harley Stindle as she steps up. Last time she was up, she had a nice hit. See if she can duplicate that as she shows bunt. Connor rocks, Now she tolls it back and pitches low and inside again. Looked like Molly caught her thigh on that delivery. The ball dropped before it even hit the plate. Again, cannot express how much of a beautiful day it is to be having a softball game. Absolutely gorgeous up here. And quite the facility. So Connor comes set again in the circle as she rocks back and forth. Harley set, delivery, inside corner it's going to be, and strike one it will be. As an umpire, you are always taught to set up what they call in the river or in the slot. So you're in between the catcher and the hitter on the inside part of that plate. So if anything, that is the most called part of the plate. Either side you go, and your hands got to be ready to come through with that. And there they do this time as she drove it down that left field line, but a little too much as it goes foul. I'll tell you, if that was straight, I don't know if it would have been high enough. It might have hit off the top of the fence, but
I think it would have been about a foot low from where that looked.
But the distance was there. It was every bit of 200 plus when it landed. So the count's 1-2 now with 2 outs as Harley Stindl steps back into the plate, the batter's box. And Molly steps back onto the plate, comes set as she rocks back and forth, gets ready for her delivery. And it's going to be inside again, hit the ground early again and again. I'm not sure what that pitch is they're trying to throw. I don't know if that's maybe a screw change or a little bit of like a curve action to it, but whatever it is, her arm motion is causing her to hit her thigh each time through, and it's fallen about 3 feet short of the plate. As she comes set again, Stindl turns, looks, and she draws the walk. As again, fell short of the plate by about 2 or 3 feet. And gives Mount Vernon a little bit of life here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th and a runner on first. As Myers steps up to the plate, the leadoff hitter for the Yellow Jackets, and we're going to have a timeout as Coach Myers for Anthony Wayne wants to talk to the head official. I don't know if he's making a substitution or if he's questioning. I can't quite see what he would be having an argument with at this particular stage. I mean, the plate's clearly, well, fell clearly short of the plate, so I don't know what the conversation piece would be on that side. But either way, he got the answer he was looking for, and now Coach Pence is having a conversation with the head umpire. And got the answer he went looking for, heads back to third base, and now we can get back to playing this game they call softball. As Stindl sits down at first, 2 outs, 4-2, Anthony Wayne on top of Mount Vernon. As we're in the top of the 5th inning. Riley Myers steps up to the plate, senior outfielder for the Yellow Jackets. Connor comes set as she rocks back and forth and delivers, and it's going to be high, ball 1. You know, I don't even know if they know what to do with themselves right now. Myers is more of a small ball slap hitter, get the ball in play, make the speed work for you. But with 2 outs, you don't really have that much freedom to play that kind of small ball because of the bunting and things of that nature. So we'll see what they come up here as Myers watches pitch 2 sail by for ball 2 and is quickly ahead 2-0. And Stindl over at first base. And she was able to draw a walk with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Molly Connor comes set now as she looks, gets the signal, rocks and delivers, and that is going to be a strike. As it caught the outside part of the plate right about the chest level. So 2-1 is our count now on Myers as she checks out the signal down at third base. Doesn't really get out of the box a whole lot. She's just ready to rock and roll, wants to get moving. Connor checks her wristband as she gets the call in from the dugout and rocks back and forth to come set. And there's the delivery and another strike again on the outside corner, this time right about the knee level. As she evens the count now 2-2 on Myers. Connor looks over to the dugout, steps back into the circle, and gets ready on the pitching plate. Myers is already in the box waiting for it as she comes set. Stindl's over at first as she gets ready for her leadoff, and there's a slap, kind of half swing as Myers fouls it off to the left-hand side, and the crowd jeers the fan who was not able to catch it. So 2-2 stays the count here with 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. 4-2 is our score. Anthony Wayne on top of Mount Vernon here in the semifinals of Division II state playoffs for OHSAA. Connor on the plate in the middle, gets set now. She gets the call from the dugout. Rocks back and forth, deliver to Myers, and that ball is going to be outside and get away from the catcher, which will allow Stindl to get down to second on the pass ball. So Summers had a little bit of time. Sumner had a little bit of a hard time holding that one in. As the officials calling a timeout, the home plate umpire calling the crew in to have a conference.
That was over pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even let third baseman get in there to that conference. I'm not quite sure what they were discussing. I don't know, maybe they were trying to remember who's paying for dinner after this game or what, but either way, they finally got it all settled, sorted, and put back in its proper position. As Connor steps back in the circle onto the plate, rocks back and forth. Myers in the box, looks and swings and fouls it off. Up and out of play into the parking lot. Oh, that took a nice bounce. Oh, and even caught a car. Nice. So 2-2 stays there. 3-2's the count here. And we've got 2 outs here. Runner on second. 4-2's our score in the top of the 5th as Myers is at bat. Connor taking her time, slowing things down as she rocks back and forth. Now gets on the plate. Comes set and delivers. And Myers is able to drop it into left center. Left fielder cuts it off as the throw comes home. It's going to be cut off there. And the run will score as Myers goes into second with a stand-up double. And that makes our score 4-3.
Mount Vernon really needed that.
Indeed they did. And Carly Messenger coming down to cut that throw off seemed a bit odd to me, as it looked like that would have been possibly a play at the plate they could have made. But either way, they kept the runner at second. And now have a timeout as Brian Pence, along with Taylor Heckman, former Ohio State athlete, played softball 4 years there, grew up just down the road from Mount Vernon in Utica, Ohio. Have a quick little discussion with Myers and Kennedy. Kennedy will be the at-bat. Myers is still on second base. Now Myers is a threat with her speed. So if Kennedy can get that ball past the infield, there's a potential Myers is crossing home plate and we got a tie ball game. So Connor's back on the plate as she rocks back and forth, delivers, and Kennedy swings and misses. As she was looking to deposit that pitch over the outfield fence. Was not able to make contact. So 0-1's the count now as she steps back into the box. Connor checks for the signal and comes set on the pitching plate as she rocks back and forth and gets ready. Myers at second. There's a pitch inside, and that's going to be ball 1. And I would think, based off the way that you're playing this game, the question comes, can Myers beat shortstop in a sprint to third? Because I think she could. And the way that the third base crashes on the bunt. Nope, they're not allowing it. And they're going to say that pitch was inside from Connor to make it 2-1. Much to the displeasure of the Anthony Wayne fans, who have traveled in great numbers from Lucas County up by Toledo down here today. So 2-1's the count with 2 outs as Kennedy's in the box. Connor comes set, delivers. It's going to be a bunt, dropped perfectly right there in front of the plate. And out. They're going to say it is runner interference. The ball hit the runner on the bunt. And that she is out. And that will be the end of the top half of the 5th inning as you're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
So that is not how you wanted to end your half of the inning, as you get out on a batter interference for the final out, keeping the score at 4-3.
It looked like a really nice bunt before that, though. It just landed right in her path.
Yep. That was
unfortunate.
That, yep, 100%. You are 100%. I mean, that was a perfect bunt. She dropped it dead right in front of home plate. But as Gary said, unfortunately, that was right in her path of running. And the official was right on top of it to call for the batter interference. So it's 4-3 is our score now as we get ready for the bottom half of the fifth. Scarberry still on the circle for the Vernon Yellow Jackets. As Lila Carazellas comes up to bat for the Generals. As the breeze picks up slightly here at the stadium. Scarberry comes set as she delivers, and that is going to be outside and high, ball one. As she checks with the home plate umpire, trying to figure out where it missed. These are those small adjustments you got to be able to make as a player to get that little bit extra down to get those calls that you were getting. So the 1-0 delivery is going to be popped up to the first baseman as she will camp underneath it. And Keely Pollard will bring in out number one. Good pitch there to Jamer on the inside.
That's a tough position to be in as the pitcher. You want to have it high and outside where they've been missing all game, but you don't want to have it too high to where they're going to get walked. Because walking two players back in the fourth or the third, it ended up costing them those points that inning.
Exactly. That's the fine line as a pitcher. You got to learn to dance, and when the zone changes in the game, it can really cause you issues. And I think that's what Scarberry's problem's been here tonight. As she delivers the first pitch, it's going to be inside and low for ball one. As at the plate now is going to be Peyton DeTrey. She has had success in her last at bat. It will get on and eventually come across and score. Scarberry sets back and delivers the 1-0 pitch, and it's a swing and a miss to even the count 1-1 with one out. As they come set. Trey's in the box ready to go as Scarberry steps on the circle and comes in with the pitch, and it's going to be fouled straight back again on the inside hands there for strike two, and makes it 1-2. So the Trey comes set again in the box. As Scarberry rocks back and forth with the 1-2 delivery and gets her strike three for out number two. So good job there by Scarberry making those adjustments. Got her to chase one up and out. And now we have two outs here in the bottom of the fifth as Megan Sumner steps up to the plate.
The catcher, number 22, Megan Sumner.
And Mount Vernon needs another clean out here. That way they can carry this momentum, potentially tie back up or even get a lead at the top of next inning.
Indeed, my friend. As Scarberry comes set, pitches high and outside. Makes it 1-0. You're exactly right. I mean, that's what they've been needing is a clean inning, a 1-2-3, and then find some way for your offense to get another point on the board. Pitch delivered low there, makes it 2-0. As that ball dropped right on the backside of the plate. So Sumner is up right now with two outs. 2-0 count. 4-3 is the score. Anthony Wayne on top of Mount Vernon as Scarberry comes set to deliver, and the pitch is high, ball three. So 3-0 sits on the count as Scarberry checks her wristband behind the circle and comes back in to stand on the plate. Sumner comes set in the box, has a ball four delivered. As the catcher appealed down to first base thinking she swung, he said no, she did not. And that'll bring up Molly Connor. With 2 outs and a runner over at first in the form of Sumner. As Scarberry looks over into that first base dugout. 4-3 is our score here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As they finally come set. Nope. Connor's going to back out. There's a lack of confidence right now in what's being called and what's being thrown. And you can see as it's slowing down Scarberry's game. Finally she comes set as she delivers, and a swing and a miss by Connor, and a beautiful pitch right there. Puts her ahead of the count 0-1. Connor takes her time outside the box. Now she comes set again. And delivery by Scarberry is going to be high as they got the runner caught in between first and second. In a run, and she just waited too long and allowed Sumner to get back to first base. Interesting there. You could have got yourself an out. Again, that comes down to I feel like Mount Vernon doesn't have a lot of confidence today. And so they're not wanting to make a mistake.
She was pump faking that throw a couple times. I think she wanted to run her to try and get greedy and take second there.
Could be, as Molly fouls off that pitch there. Stay alive at 1-2. Sumner's still over at first base as Connor's up to bat here. 4-3 is our score. Anthony Wayne on top of Mount Vernon. Bottom of the 5th inning. As Scarberry comes set, delivers, and this ball is shot to third, but this time Brooklyn is ready and hauls it in for out number 3. And that is the end of the inning as our score here, Anthony Wayne 4, Mount Vernon 3. You're listening to High School Softball on WMVO.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
And welcome back again as we get ready here for the 6th inning of the state semifinals between Mount Vernon and Anthony Wayne. I'd like to thank our sponsors again, Extreme Air LLC, Griffin Insurance, KCVS, RCI Mechanical, Daring Renovations, and Foster's Pharmacy.
And that KCVS, that's Knox County Veteran Service, is out of Mount Vernon as well, in case you weren't familiar with that acronym.
Much appreciated, because I was not. A little Sweet Caroline plays across the speakers here. The crowd continues to have life in them in the 6th inning of this 4-3 game between Anthony Wayne Generals and the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets.
This could be a really pivotal inning here. Mount Vernon just shut the Generals out of scoring last time. They're only down by 1. If they're able to get ahead of these pitches and get some points on the board, I think it could really make or break their game.
I agree.
Depending on how they do here.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is a key 6th inning. I think if you can't get anything going here, if you have a quick 1-2-3 in the 6th, it's going to be hard to find that momentum when you get back up bat in the last inning of the 7th. But we will see what they can come up with here. As leading off will be Haley Rudrick for the Yellow Jackets.
Leading off for the Lady Jackets, catcher number 15, Haley Rudrick.
Molly Connor looking to continue her mastery here as she's pitched a beautiful game through 5 so far. As she comes set, Haley awaits the pitch, swings and misses for strike 1. Right now having a hard time again just pulling their heads as they are opening up way too quick, trying to drive that ball and do maximum amount of damage to it. So Connor comes set again on the plate as she rocks back and forth with the delivery. And there's a swing and a foul ball this time. Straight back and over our heads for out, or excuse me, strike number 2. Quickly she's in the hole 0-2. So Haley Rudrick Needs to battle her way out of this one. She leads off the top of the 6th. Molly rocks back and forth on the pitcher's plate before she comes set. Now here's the delivery, and there's the pitch, and it's down low, ball 1. So 1-2 is the count now. Ruderick comes set. She takes up her stance in the back of the box, kind of right in the middle of it. Showing bunt. As Connor rocks back and forth before she pulls it back and gets ready to swing. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3 for the first out here in the 6th inning. So that'll bring up Brooklyn Davenbarger, who is looking to make some amends off a rough fielding inning she had 2 innings back. And here's where you can do that with one nice swing of the bat. She gets set in the box again. Deep stance all the way up against the back line. Open stance with the left foot outside of the box. She closes it upon the pitch. The ball's delivered high, ball 1. So 1-0's the count, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. 4-3 is our score. Anthony Wayne on top of Mount Vernon. The state semifinal action here at Firestone Stadium in Akron. Connor delivers, and the pitch is in there, strike 1. So 1-1 now sits the count. As Davenbach comes set. Connor checks her wristband in the circle before she comes to the plate, delivers, and there's a swing and a foul ball, up and out of play again, making it 1-2. Brooklyn looking to find some way to stay alive, get on base here as they got 1 out here, trailing by 1 run in the top of the 6th. Connor looking to shut that door as she delivers the 1-2 pitch and gets her out in front of it. The 1-1 pitch for foul ball. It's a nice change up there. Brooklyn got way out in front of it and somehow was still able to stay on and at least foul it off. So it moves the count to 1-2 now. Brooklyn steps back into the box as Connor takes her time, finally steps on the pitching plate. Comes set, rocks, and here's the delivery. And it's going to be inside ball 3. No, 2. Guy working the scoreboard out there is not keeping me very accurate. 2-2's our count right now on Davenport in the box. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. 3-4 our score. Anthony Wayne on top of Mount Vernon. As Connor gets back in the circle to come set, she rocks and delivers, and Brooklyn fouls us off to first base, but there's going to be room, and it's going to be caught for out number 2. As Carly Messenger was able to just mosey over towards the coaching box about 4 or 5 feet away from first base and haul it in for an out. So 2 outs now here in the top of the 6th. Jocelyn Scarberry will step up to bat to see if she can't help her effort here as they trail by 1 run. So Connor comes set as she checks her signal, rocks and delivers, and a swing and a miss as Scarberry again trying to do some damage to that pitch and was not able to time it up. Scarberry takes her time as she walks, gets set, back into the box. A deep stance, deep back half of that box. As the pitch is delivered and it's high for ball 1. Scarberry's one of the few players I've seen tonight not crowding the plate. Actually staying back a little bit further in that box to allow her the inside part of the plate. Connor comes back in the circle, steps on the pitching plate, checks her wrist, gets the call, and delivers. And there's a swing and a miss, or excuse me, a swing and a foul ball as Scarberry sends this one flying off to the right side. And is in the hole, 1-2. As Connor gets the new ball from the official, takes a little walk behind the circle, checks out third base, reaches down to grab the non-existent dirt, and steps back on the plate to come set. Checks her band, gets a signal, rocks and delivers, and there's a shot to third base, caught by the third baseman, and throws out. They're saying a foul ball, fair ball. What are we doing?
I think they called it safe, saying that first base bobbled the ball, or bobbled the catch.
I thought he called her out, but I think the home plate umpire said foul because his hands went up, which is a foul ball.
Oh, I didn't see him. I was looking at the first base ump.
And that's exactly what we got. So it's going to be a foul ball. It's going to keep the count 1-2. As Scarberry comes back to the box to continue her at bat. Connor comes set. And ball is delivered low. Makes it 2-2. Scarberry checks down third, comes set. Connor takes her time now as she looking to put Scarberry away here with a 2-2 count. She rocks. There's the delivery and a swing and a miss. We're going to say it was low. Throw down to first gets her, and that's the end of the sixth inning, or top of the sixth. With our score, Anthony Wayne 4, Mount Vernon 3.
RCI Mechanical in Mount Vernon. RCI Mechanical, residential, commercial, industrial, your local plumbing company for 30 years. Call us for anything from a small drip to building a new house. We are also hiring. Call 740-398-0010 to apply. Benefits package includes vacations, paid holidays, IRAs, no nights and weekends, and work mainly in the Knox County area. Again, for more information, call the office at 740-398-0010. That's 740-398-0010. RCI Mechanical.
And welcome back as we get ready for the bottom half of the sixth inning. Anthony Wayne up 4-3 in this Division II state semifinal game. Brought to you from Firestone Stadium in Akron, Ohio. It's key right now for the Yellow Jackets not to give up any runs at all this inning. I fear any kind of run given up may be more than they can overcome at this stage.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for them to get one to tie it up, top of the seventh, let alone if they have to try and make more than that.
Yeah. So it's going to be a big inning for them defensively as well as for Scarberry pitching. Try to get that 1-2-3 as quick as you can, get in and get out. And looking to not help them with that is going to be Gabby Nowicki. Leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the sixth. Junior for these Generals. Playing left field today as she comes into the box. Now she's a little bit more on the front end of the box and tight up against that plate, not giving the inside corner. Scarberry comes set, the delivery and the pitch, and that's in there, strike one. And she was able to paint the outside corner at the knees. So Gabby steps back in, and Scarberry comes set, rocks and delivers. And there's a foul ball, head off to the first base side, and out of play. So quickly the count is 0-2 on Gabby. And Scarberry gets a new ball from her catcher. Takes her time behind the circle. Now she steps back in. Checks her wristband for the pitch, rocks, and here's the delivery. And there's a shot to first base, picked up by the first baseman, and she just beats her there. And a great effort play there by Keely Pollard as she kind of stumbled to her knee on that reach for the fielding and was able to just kind of dive and put the glove out there to tag the base before the runner made it for the first out.
Yeah, that was close. If she hadn't dived, that would have been a safe call right there.
But either way, it's an out, and that brings up Casey Jo Carter, center fielder, junior for these Generals. As they have one out here in the bottom of the sixth. Scarberry on the plate, checks, delivers, and there's a shot to shortstop, bobbled by the shortstop, and that'll be a runner on base as Grace Bates was not able to pick it, and gives the Generals a runner here with one out in the bottom of the sixth, and Carly Messenger stepping up to the plate.
Number 21, Carly Messenger.
Messenger takes her time as she sorts out the situation. comes set in the box. Another hitter who likes to hug that line and get close to the plate. Scarberry comes set, turns, bunts. It's a pop-up. Scarberry caught it for the out. And a great job offensively there by the base runner, recognizing that, getting back to the bag. So I don't think the second baseman, Pope, was going to be there in time anyways on that play. But nonetheless, a pop out for an out. It's out number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Coach Myers for the Generals is going to step out and have a conversation quickly with the umpire. I believe we got a pinch hitter coming in as Tegan Gwynn, the junior, stepping into the box.
Pitch hitting for the Generals, number 8, Tegan Gwynn.
So we'll see if that pinch hit pays off here. They try to get that runner moving and scoring from first with 2 outs. So Tegan's in the box as Scarberry comes set with the delivery, and there's a swing and a hot shot down to first. Stopped by Pollard. She gathers it and gets the out. So bottom of the 6th, our score is 4-3. Anthony Wayne on top. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901. Where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
Veterans serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
Filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
And welcome back as we get started here with the final countdown. As inning number 7 is about to begin, our score, Anthony Wayne 4, Mount Vernon 3. So it's either score 1 to keep going, score 2 to take a lead, or score none, and your season is done. So we will see here as both fans are starting to stand up. Anthony Wayne's fans to cheer on Molly Connor, has pitched a brilliant game so far today with 4 hits and 3 runs. The Mount Vernon fans cheering on their hitters as Grace Bates steps up to the plate in the box. Shows bunt as Connor rocks. She comes set to swing though, swing and a miss, strike 1 as she foul tipped it. Fall behind 0-1. Bates steps back in the box again, showing the bunt as Connor checks her wristband for the signal and rocks back and forth in her routine to get ready and deliver. And there's a swing and a hit right up the middle as that's going to fall in for a single and get Mount Vernon a runner on base. So great job there by Bates. Just taking what was given, sending it right back up the middle. And getting on base to give Keely Pollard an opportunity here for the young sophomore.
Yeah, a good start from Mount Vernon. In the past innings, we haven't seen them get a runner on base until they've already had 2 outs on them.
Right now they've called timeout. Looks like they're going to go with a courtesy runner here. And that is what they're going to do as Mia Joyner, young freshman, is going to come in to run for Bates. And Pollard talks to the coach quickly there outside the batter's box as the officials make sure both scorebooks are aware of this change. So they're going to come set now as Pollard gets ready here with no outs. Down by 1 run and a runner on first. Connor comes set, rocks, delivers. There's a pitch, there's a swing, and there's a miss. As Pollard chased the ball a little bit low in the zone for strike 1. Connor back in the circle, checks over to the signal, Comes set as she rocks back and forth. Pollard turns to show bunt, gets it up in the air, and it's caught and out. And a great job, great recognition there by Connor, and a great job by the second baseman to get there, but excellent job by Joyce. The young freshman recognizing that and getting back to the bag to avoid the out. Joyner. So now coming up to plate is going to be Meredith Jones as a pinch hitter. Again, 1 out, top of the 7th. Mount Vernon trails 4-3. Runner on first. Young freshman Nia Joyner pinch running for Bates.
Pitch hitting for the Lady Jackets, number 21.
As Coach Pence is going to send Meredith Jones out to hit, the senior. As she comes set. Connor rocks, delivers. All low. Connor taking her time behind the pitching plate, working it out. The adrenaline's got to be absolutely through the roof for that poor kid. And she checks her wristband. Rocks back and forth, comes set. There's the delivery and a swing and a miss for strike 1. So 1-1 is our count with 1 out. Runner at first, Mount Vernon down by 1, top of the 7th. Pinch hitter and Meredith Jones is at the plate for the Yellow Jackets as Connor is still on the pitching rubber for the Generals. He's given up 3 runs and 5 hits so far this game through 6. She comes set with the delivery, and there's another swing and a miss. She is ahead of Meredith Jones, 1-2. Jones takes a little bit of a walk, collect her thoughts, as Connor does the same and comes set. Gets the signal, Chester Rick's band, as she rocks back and forth to get ready for the delivery, and there's the pitch, and there's a foul straight back. Good cut there by Jones. Unfortunately, just off. So 1-2's the count, 1 out, runner at first. Connor checking into the dugout for her signs as she steps on the pitching plate to get ready. Jones sits in the back of the box, open stance. As she comes, there's the delivery, and there's another foul back to stay alive at 1-2. Jones is doing a good job here of keeping the bat going, trying to give herself an opportunity, trying to give her team an opportunity as Connor finally comes set on the pitching plate. Gets the signal, rocks, delivers, and inside low. And the ball bounced away from the catcher, allowing the runner, Joyner, to get down to second base. Kind of a nonchalant effort there by Sumner to get up and get the ball.
It looked like that ball got caught in between the hitter's feet as well.
She wasn't quite sure how to approach that. Well, if you got a runner on base, you just get the ball and throw him out. But anyways, I digress. Runner on second now with a 2-2 count. As Jones is at the plate, Connor gets the pitch, comes set, delivers, and again, Jones staying alive, fouling the ball off. Coach Pence reminding her, be smart up there. Don't go chasing after high pitches. Just need to get the ball in play as we got 1 out, runner at second in the forms of the young freshman Joyner. Pinch running for Bates. As Connor comes set on the 2-2 pitch, the delivery. And there's a shot into center field that is going to go over the center fielder's head and get to the fence. As Joyner's going to score, Jones comes to second and ties it up 4-4. That's what you need, folks. That's what you want. You get a senior in there, provides a huge spark, and ties the ball game up for you.
That was a perfect hit. Keeping it at 1 out, moving another runner to scoring position, and getting a point on the board there.
Yes, sir. Kind of just keep trading places, as they say. And that's what Haley Stendel's going to do when she comes up to bat here, is look to change places with Jones. But I got a feeling they're going to give Jones the night off after that hit to send a courtesy runner for her. And that is exactly what they're doing. So Isla Graham will come in, the freshman. to run at second. As Jones heads back into the dugout, greeted by a big hug from her coach after that huge clutch pinch hit moment. As Coach Pence is able to rally the troops, but Coach Myers is going to take a little time out here for the Generals, talk about things, get them under control, calm them back down. As we got a 4-4 ball game with one out here, runner on second, and Mount Vernon still threatening.
Even if you don't have much to say, as a coach, you kind of need to take a timeout there. Give them a second to breathe and let the crowd simmer down some before you need to throw that next pitch.
Yes, definitely. Get the energy out of the ballpark, as they say. Kind of let it dissipate. Get it back to the pace you want. As the conference is broken up there, middle of the infield, and the players all disperse back to their respective positions. So Harley Stindl will come up, and she has had a night at the plate. One of the bright spots here this afternoon for the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets on offense. She has been involved in the scoring process all the way through. Shows bunt now as she comes set, turns, there's a shot right back up the middle again, and climbing around third is Graham, she's going to score, and Stindl puts him ahead, 5-4. In the blink of an eye, my friend, this game can change on you. And while you watch the momentum and the enthusiasm pump through this crowd on Mount Vernon side, first base coach reminding Myers, calm it down. Stay calm. Only got one out. The more we can get, the better. As they come set, ready to try to add even more to this run total here in the seventh, as they got two across already. Myers, leadoff hitter, is now up to bat as Connor rocks with the delivery. There's the pitch and a foul tip on the bunt attempt. Good 0-1. I think you want to get at least one more out there, Gary.
Yeah, I think you're wanting to hit right to center field here because she was looking nervous. After that last hit got past her, she was struggling to get this one off the ground.
Small things like that can cause big problems. We'll see here as the delivery to Myers. Myers swings and fouls it straight back to make it 0-2. It's interesting, they got burned last time, did the Generals, when they had their second baseman. They're bringing second base almost in parallel with first and the pitcher, so she's really coming up tight within 30 feet. And Myers scooted it past her last time for a hit. Now they've dropped her back. As the delivery there, and Myers gets it off to third, and an absolute bullet dug out, and a double play! What a job by Addie Benning, as she was able to get the liner and then get the throw over to first for the double play and end the threat. So our score, Mount Vernon 5, Anthony Wayne 4. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
Well, folks, this is what you come here to do. This is why you play this game. State semifinals, bottom of the seventh. You're the home team with one bat. You're down 5-4. If you're the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets, you're looking for Scarberry to have another one of those innings like she had at the beginning of the game. She has done a great job pitching today, but she's had her moments where she's struggled. She's allowed some extra base runners, and they've come back to haunt her. So if she can stay in that zone, keep the base runners off that base, they should be good shape here to go ahead and punch their ticket to the state championship game, which will be played tomorrow at 1:30. Also brought to you here by us as well. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got 3 outs we got to get without letting a run score. So leading off for the Generals, the bottom of the seventh is going to be Piper Phillips, right fielder. So that's a success today against Scarberry as she comes set. Rocks back. There's the pitch, delivery, and a foul ball off to the right side to do it again. A little more oomph than Scarberry there on that delivery. I think she's starting to feel a little bit of this adrenaline as well. And hopefully that can be channeled in a positive way, not in a way that causes harm with the control. So 0-1's the count now. Scarberry comes set again with the delivery. And again, it's going to be a pop-up, this time a short flop to second, and that's going to be caught for the out, as Presley Pope was right there to scoop it. And we got out number one. 2 more to go. As coming up now for the Generals is going to be Lila Caravelis. She has had success.
Number 15, Lila Caravelis.
As Scarberry looks over that dugout for the signal. Finally steps back in the circle to come set. As Lila watches the first pitch and fouls it off down the third base line for strike one. You know, you talked earlier, Gary, about momentum. It's definitely sitting on that first base side right now. You can just sense that that's the crew that's expecting to do something here. As the Generals feel a little timid in their at-bats. I don't think they're packing it up, but that momentum they had seems to have been lost, as a nice change up there by Scarberry got the batter out in front, and she fouled it off again to make it 0-2.
Yeah, it's crazy how that got reversed at the top half of this inning. Mount Vernon was down by 1, playing to survive here in this game, and now immediately the Generals are in that exact spot.
That's what I love about this game. It can change so fast for you. So the 0-2 delivery by Scarberry is going to be slapped into right field. An excuse me swing gets the hit and keeps the inning alive, as she's able to get a single there was Lila. So 1 runner on now. As coming up to bat is going to be, I believe, DeTrey. Yep. Who has had success here tonight. Coach making sure they understand, get the out at first. In a situation like this, that runner isn't really something you need to worry about. What you need to worry about is this batter, making sure this batter gets this out, get that second out, take that pressure off you a little bit, and then finally put it away. So Scarberry comes set with the delivery, and it's going to be a bunt. It's going to be picked up. It's going to get the out at first, and they're going to try to third. Bad idea. Got her. Ball game. What a job by Mount Vernon. Excellent play there. Got the bunt. They tried to get greedy and get the runner over to third. Catcher did a phenomenal job of remembering her responsibility. Got there, tag out. Ball game. Mount Vernon wins. Headed to state finals, 5-4 over Anthony Wayne.
Great news, Central Ohio. Foster's Pharmacy offers daily dose packaging, which are convenient and simple. It's truly personalized care you're looking for. It just starts with a call to get started. Take the hassle out of your medications. Call 740-392-0911. Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy.
Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
So welcome back. Again, our final here in the state semifinals is Mount Vernon 5, Anthony Wayne 4. And what a win for the Yellow Jackets. Comeback fashion. They went up 2, quickly gave up 2 to tie it, fell behind 4-2, fell behind still 4-3, and in the top of the 7th when they needed it the most, they were able to perform, get the job done. And then a brilliant job at the end of that on a bunt play. Excellent job by the catcher, recognizing her responsibilities, getting to third for that final out, and giving Mount Vernon their ability to punch that ticket to go on to take on Riverside in the state championship game tomorrow at 1:30, which we will have here for you as well. So for all of our sponsors, Extreme Air LLC, Griffin Insurance, Knox County Veteran Services, RCI Mechanical, Hearing Renovations, and Foster Pharmacy, and for my partner Gary Cooper,